Expenditure means the incurring a liability or disbursement of the cash or transfer of property for the purpose of obtaining goods, service, or assets. Expenditure need not involve any kind corresponding outflow of cash resources from the business. An expenditure is decided whether it is a capital expenditure or revenue expenditure. Last lectures we have discussed about the capital expenditure. Capital expenditure means the expenditure incurred intend to a benefit for a future period in contrast to revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure is the expenditure and the benefit of which enjoy or consume not in a 1 year but over a many years. It is an expenditure incurred which result in the purchase or acquisition of the assets and properties which may be used for many years. The main purpose of incur such capital expenditure is to earn income over a period of a year or increase earning capacity of business concern. For example, purchase of machinery, land and building. These assets are used over a period of year and such capital expenditure is shown in the balance sheet. Capital expenditure in one which is incurred for various purposes, purchase of the assets of the business for earning profit with their use, but goods purchased for resale or consumption is not a capital expenditure. Last lectures we have discussed the revenue expenditure also. Now, highlight points of the capital expenditure. When we say that the capital expenditure, the highlight point is it is a large amount of capital expenditure. When we want to purchase asset, we require large amount. So it is a large amount of capital expenditure, and it improves the earning capacity of the business. Whenever our earning capacity improve, so it is considered as a capital expenditure. It is a benefit for a long period of time. Long period, say more than 1 year. Sometimes it may be 5 years, it may be 7 years, 10 years. The long benefit is there. It is non-recurring. It will not recur again and again. It is called as a non-recurring expenditure. It is put the asset in working condition. It is put the asset in working condition. And amount is written off. Sometimes whenever the fixed asset purchase, we have to depreciate every year. It is considered as a write off the value of the assets, write off the depreciation. Then this particular amount shown in the balance sheet, it is considered as a capital asset. What about the revenue expenditure? Capital expenditure we studied. The revenue expenditure means the expenditure incurred in our day-to-day business life. It is recurring in nature and it is used for improve the fixed asset. Whenever we have to repair any kind of fixed asset and we have to maintain our fixed asset, for that purpose we have to do revenue expenditure. The revenue expenditure, last lectures we have discussed, it is a recurring expenditure. It is benefited for a short period. It may be less than 1 year. It may be less than 1 year, and it's shown in the profit and loss account of our final account. These things you have to keep in mind. Revenue expenditure we have to show in profit and loss account, and capital expenditure we have to show in the balance sheet. These things we have discussed in our last lectures. We also discussed the deferred revenue expenditure, means expenditure incurred today and benefit will occur in the future. For example, advertisement, research and development expenditure. These are the examples of the deferred revenue expenditure. I hope you understood these kinds of things. Now, friends, last lectures I already informed, and today also I want to say that we will discuss the practical part. What kind of questions we will ask and how we will tackle the questions, how we will write the answers that we are going to discuss. I already informed you that the page number 2 you have to write in your notebook, and every answers you should keep at least 2 to 4 lines. Then I will explain the answers. Okay, fine. So I hope you already wrote page number 2 on your notebook. You wrote already, yes or no? You have the PDF, I already informed. Okay. Now, these things we have studied: capital, revenue, expenditure. We have discussed the deferred revenue expenditure in our last lecture. Now, we are going to learn the question is there that we are going to solve. Now, friends, it's very simple. We have to bifurcate whether it is a capital expenditure, whether it is a revenue expenditure. We have to find out whether it is a revenue or capital expenditure, that we have to find out. Now see that first item is purchase of old machinery. The purchase of old machinery is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. Why it is a capital expenditure? Because machinery is a heavy amount and it is a recurring in nature. It is non-recurring in nature. Why it is a non-recurring in nature? Because we cannot purchase everyday machinery. That's why we can say that it is a non-recurring in nature. Okay, fine. Now, next is amount rupees 9,000 for recondition of the old machines. Recondition of the old machine. Now we have to find out whether it is a capital expenditure or revenue expenditure. It is also capital expenditure because machinery is there and we have to use recondition purpose, reinstallation purpose. So it is a capital expenditure. Same reason, spend for acquiring cost, and it is a non-recurring. It is a non-recurring, and we can put as a this amount spent for putting the asset into working condition. See the friends, how we will write our answers. First of all, you should know about the nature, what type of expenditure is there. It is a capital expenditure. It is also capital expenditure. Now, next, spend rupees 10,000 on preparation of the sale deed in connection with the purchase of the building. Now, we want to purchase the building and they spend rupees 10,000. So, this also capital expenditure. Is also capital expenditure. Why it is a capital expenditure? Because purchase of the building, it is not a day-to-day business expenditure. We required heavy amount. and it is non-recurring expenditure. It cannot be incurred again and again. And purchase of the building, it is benefited for more than 1 year. Therefore, this purchase of the building or sale, preparation of the sale deed in connection with the purchase of the building, sale deed they prepare, but this expenditure related to the purchase of the building, therefore it is a capital expenditure. Then next, spend rupees 5,000 on custom duty clearing charges on account of purchase machinery imported. Imported means purchase from outside the country, and for that purpose organization paid custom duty clearing charges. So this custom duty and clearing charges, we can say that it is also capital expenditure. I hope you understood what do you mean by capital expenditure. Right? And this importing the machinery, it is need for organization, and it is a expenses connected with the purchase of machinery. Expenses connected with the purchase of machinery. Therefore, it is a capital expenditure. Then, wages incurred to install the machinery for rupees 10,000. Now, wages, when it is incurred, when wages paid at the time of installation of the machinery. So, it is also one of the capital expenditure. It is also capital expenditure. So these things you have to keep in mind, which expenditure, why it is called as a capital expenditure, because they want to purchase the machinery, they want to install the machinery, and for that purpose they incurred the wages. It is not incurred again and again. It is not non-recurring expenditure. Therefore, it is a capital expenditure. Then next is cost of air conditioning executive office rupees 15,000. Now air conditioning cost, it means they brought the assets, they purchased the air condition. Whenever the organization purchase the asset air condition, it is considered as a capital expenditure. It is considered as a capital expenditure. Air condition, we cannot purchase every day. Air condition, we cannot purchase every day. Therefore, it is a non-recurring in nature. Friends, that you have to understand first what do you mean by capital expenditure, what will be the exact expenses of the capital expenditure, and why we called as a capital expenditure. Whenever they will ask the question, that time nature they will give 1 mark, and reason they will give 1 mark. It means 2 marks for every sentence. So these things you have to keep in mind. The 2 marks you will get whenever you have to find out whether it is a revenue or capital expenditure. So you should properly allocate our expenses, capital and revenue. Now, next is the cost of the overhauling the machinery rupees 3,000. Now, this increase the value of the asset, the increase the capacity, earning capacity, so it is considered as a capital expenditure. Now, if overhauling, if it is a maintenance purpose, then revenue. But increase the earning capacity, so it is a capital. It is considered as a capital expenditure. Acquire goodwill. Acquire means purchase, to buy. Acquire means to purchase, to buy. Now they purchase what they purchase? They purchase the goodwill. The goodwill acquired, it is also capital expenditure. They cannot purchase goodwill every day. Whenever goodwill is acquired, earning capacity increases. Goodwill is acquired, earning capacities increases. Therefore, we can say that it is a capital expenditure. Now next, cost of training of employee. Now in the organization, company gives training to the employee. Now training is a every day they will provide newcomers, those who are new persons, they will, that particular employee, they will get the training. The training expenditure is a revenue expenditure. Training expenditure is a revenue expenditure. I hope you understood why it is revenue, because it is a recurring in nature. Recurring in nature means company give training regular basis. Every day they spend certain amount on training. Therefore, we can say that cost of training the employee is a revenue expenditure. Next, the cost of construction of a gallery in the office premises. Now, gallery construction, it is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. Why we call it as a capital expenditure? Because we have to bring into existence the assets. Means asset is exist. Gallery is a one of the asset, and it is created, and it is non-recurring in nature. This expenditure is not conduct or do every day. It will be used for a long period of time. Construction of the gallery is used for a long period of time. Therefore, it is a capital expenditure. Yes, I hope you understood what is going on. Then next is insurance of building. Insurance, building insurance, company take building insurance. For that purpose, company paid certain amount of premium to the premium company, to the insurance company. Therefore, every year they paid premium to the premium insurance company. The insurance expenditure is a revenue expenditure. Insurance expenditure is a revenue expenditure. Why it is revenue expenditure? Because it is incurred again and again. It is created again and again. Therefore, it is a revenue expenditure. Next, paid fees of association for next 3 years. Now, we will incur the expenditure today, and benefit will occur. Benefit will be there for next 3 years. It is called as deferred revenue expenditure. These things you have to keep in mind whenever the expenditure incurred today and benefit will get in the future, it is called deferred revenue expenditure. Deferred revenue expenditure. It means it is a expenditure. It is a expenditure, or it is paid paid in advance. Paid in advance means we have to do the expenditure today, benefit will be occurred in the future. So it is a paid in advance. Next, payment of municipal taxes. Payment of municipal taxes. Now municipal corporation received municipal taxes every quarter or half yearly, 3 months basis or half yearly basis. So these are recurring expenditure. It is a revenue expenditure. Recur again and again, incurred again and again. Therefore, we can say that it is a revenue expenditure. Now, friends, next, amount received on sale of old furniture. Amount received on sale of old furniture. Now, amount received on sale of old furniture, it is a income. It is a receipt. So we can say that it is a capital receipts. It is a capital receipt. Why we call it as a capital X receipts? Because whenever we sold the furniture, amount or money come, it is a capital receipt. Now, what amount or what things we have to sold? Which things we have to sold? We have to sold furniture. The furniture is a fixed asset. Furniture is a fixed asset. Whenever we sold the sale of the fixed asset, it is a capital receipt. These things you have to keep in mind. Sale of the fixed assets. Old furniture is a fixed asset. If it is sold, it is considered as a capital receipt. Next, received a gift from father. Now, these are money you received from your father. So it is also capital receipts. If you receive the gift from father, it is capital receipt. But generally, it is not considered in our accounts. Whenever we have to do the account, that time we will not record. Okay. Next, bad dates. Bad dates recovered. Bad dates recovered. It is a revenue receipt. Revenue receipts. Recovered. It means bad debts means what? Irrecoverable debts from the debtors. It means these debtors or customers are not interested to pay the selling price, and this credit sales, this particular amount company received after the certain period is over, then this particular recovered amount is called as a bad debts recovered, and it is a revenue receipt. It is a revenue receipt. It is a recurring in nature. Revenue receipt is a recurring in nature. These things you have to keep in mind what we have to study here. about our expenditure. What kind of expenditure? Then amount received on issue of debentures. Company issue the debentures and receive the amount. It is considered as capital expenditure. It is considered as a capital amount received. It is considered as a capital receipts. These things you have to keep in mind. What is the capital receipts? Amount received. Amount received on issue of debentures. Whenever the debentures are issued, that time company received certain amount, and this amount we can say that it is a capital receipts. I hope you understood what is going on. Okay, friends, do you have any doubt? Now, friends, these are the certain things. License fees paid. License fees paid. Whether it is a capital expenditure carrying on the work of the factory, license fees paid. The license fees paid, whenever we have to start any particular production, we require to pay the license fees. Therefore, it is considered as a heavy amount of expenditure. License, it is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. Then renewal of the license. It is a renewal. It means regular basis we have to renew. Recurring in nature, so it is revenue expenditure. Loss on sale of plant and machinery. Loss on sale of plant and machinery. Whenever the plant sold, company suffer loss. So it is considered as a capital loss. It is considered as a capital loss. Now, capital loss, it is a loss on sale of the fixed asset. Whenever we sold the assets and any kind of loss occurred, it is considered as a capital loss. Then discount on issue of shares. It is also discount on issue of shares. It is also capital loss. It is also capital loss. These things you have to keep in mind, because we have, it is not a regular loss, but it is a capital loss. Heavy expenditure incurred on advertisement. So it is a deferred. It is a deferred revenue expenditure. See that, friends. Expenses incurred today, advertisement expenditure. Benefit will occur in the future. It is a deferred revenue expenditure. Then legal expenses incurred in connection with the issue of capital, share capital. The legal expenditure incurred in connection of the issue of capital, it is also deferred revenue expenditure. Legal expenses incurred right now for issuing share capital, and benefit will occur in the future. Means because of the legal expenses incurred, they issue the shares and company collect the amount of money. The benefit will be occurred in the future. Therefore, it is considered as a deferred revenue expenditure. Next is depreciation. Depreciation on machinery. It is a revenue loss. It is a revenue loss. Revenue loss because we are reducing the balance of the fixed asset. Our fixed asset balance reduces, and it is usual nature. Generally, we are depreciate our assets. Therefore, it is considered as a revenue loss. Next, interest on loan borrowed. Interest on loan borrowed. It is also revenue expenditure. It is also expenditure. Why we call as a revenue expenditure? Suppose if you borrow the loan, company borrow the loan, this loan they paid certain amount of interest on that particular loan. They paid a certain amount of interest. With such interest, the regular base they paid, it is considered as a revenue expenditure. Next, goods destroyed by fire. It is a loss, but this loss is called as a revenue loss. This loss is called as a revenue loss because goods destroyed, it is a stock, is a trading assets. It is a stock in the trading asset, and this destroyed, it is considered as a revenue loss. Then next, compensation received for loss of goodwill. Compensation received for loss of goodwill. Compensation means the money received for loss of goodwill. So it is, goodwill is a fixed asset. It is an intangible asset. So it is a capital receipts. It is a capital receipts. See the friends, how we will treated our expenditure: capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, deferred revenue expenditure. Sometimes we can put as a capital loss, sometimes we can put as a revenue loss, capital receipts, or revenue receipts. These things you have to keep in mind. I hope you understood what is going on.
जिथे मला
Yes, what is going on? Many students are, please switch off your mic. Now you understood these things. Friends, in our notes, many problems are there, many sentences are there. You should find out whether it is a capital, revenue, deferred revenue, capital receipts, revenue receipts, capital loss, revenue loss. That you should find out, and you have to give why it is a capital receipts, why it is a capital expenditure. You have to give the reason. And for that purpose, first of all, you should read the first page properly. Then you have to see the second page. In that, we have discussed the second page entire regarding how we will allocate the expenditure. I hope you understood this lecture. We will discuss next lecture some other transactions, and whether it is a capital in nature, revenue in nature, whether such transaction is a capital receipts or revenue receipts, or capital loss or revenue loss, that we are going to discuss in a next lectures. I hope you understood. If you have any doubt, you can ask, you can chat in the our chat box also. Even the you have the our WhatsApp group, and on that WhatsApp group also you can give your any query, any details. We will chat. I hope you understood. This lecture is over. Thank you.